to know about the program. Subsequent to that, we'll have Rahul Sharma giving his view on what he thinks about this partnership and how this will play a role to bridge the gap which we see in digital technologies. And then subsequently the closing remarks by NASSCOM president and all other respected DC members. So over to you, Amit, without any delay. Amit Mehta.
Yeah, thank you, Yuri. And a warm welcome to all the GC members and our friends who joined us on YouTube. Really a great pleasure to be here today and wanted to share with you the AWS Cloud Masterclass that we're launching along with our partner Ethnos and working closely with NASSCOM FutureSkills Prime. So a quick context of why we're here and our thinking. Some of you are shaping the destiny of digital India. So for us to be a $1 trillion digital economy, which is really our aspiration as per the MIT report, clearly the digital talent pool is going to be critical. And what we did was we said, okay, listen, what's the digital talent pool right now? How does the complexion of that look within APAC? And we commissioned a research with the economic advisory firm Alpha Beta. And we just released this actually end of Feb and early March. And wanted to share with you some findings which kind of validate some of the work that you've been doing as well. So clearly, one thing that came out clear was currently from the workforce that we have, about 12% are really digitally skilled. And that essentially means that there's an opportunity for us to clearly double down our efforts on to get to the goal of 2025 $1 trillion economy. The second aspect of that was the demand for number of digital skilled workers is going to grow by 9x by 2025. And there are some more facets to that which we'll kind of share with you later. But essentially, then we looked at what are some of the top in-demand cloud skills. And 5 skills came up tops: cloud architecture design, software operation support, web software game development, large-scale data modeling, and cybersecurity and cyber forensics. So these are the top 5. And within that, the fastest growing category really was cloud architecture design, growing at about 30% CAGR till 2025. And that's no surprise because really cloud as an operating model and as a place to compute large data sets and give you the agility and cost benefits is clearly an established model. And 2020 wouldn't have been possible had cloud not come to the rescue of operationalizing some of our customer services, some of our BCP processes. So clearly, given that cloud is such a critical element of mobilizing that $1 trillion digital economy, that's where we're focusing on, and that's the starting point of a discussion. And then we looked at, listen, is cloud the only place or only technology that people need to be familiar with? So what came out in the research was that an average worker in the digital workspace would require to be familiar with as many as 7 new digital skills, because you get into the cloud, then you start looking at big data, then you start looking at security, then you start looking at things like AI, ML. So those are some of the adjacencies that you start exploring the moment you get to the cloud architecture. So the number of skills that these digital skilled workers are going to be needing, some of them is going to be as high as 7. And what that means is for the learners on YouTube, so clearly an opportunity for the learners, the students in early careers, the IT workforce which is planning to reskill itself, clearly advance their career by having in-demand cloud sales and validate that with the industry credential. So these are some, Times of India actually published an interesting article in terms of salaries. Normally we don't track salaries, but this is a good, reference point that Times of India published, that for people with cloud certifications, these are the average or median salaries depending on the years of experience. And our anecdotal experience says that, if you were a undergrad and if you were to join the job, vis-a-vis if you were to join the job industry with a cloud credential, you potentially have an opportunity to have a premium of about 20 to 25 points in terms of your salary. And some of the roles that are being sought after, we work as part of an employment engagement function. We work with some of the largest companies. And these are some of the roles the largest GSIs and our enterprise customers and our digital native business customers are actually looking at. So solutions architect, DevOps engineer, cloud interns. So for those of my friends on YouTube today, looking at potentially, next steps in their career, this is a good enough validation that this is the direction that you should pursue. And not only for learners, for organizations, it's very critical to have cloud talent. And some interesting data points by IDC and by a research that ESG did. So clearly, organizations who are comprehensively enabled on the cloud, they're 3x, in terms of just their ability to introduce new services, they're 3 times faster. Ability to achieve their digital objectives 2.5x better. And then just in terms of rolling out innovation, 1.5x better. So these are documented data points for organizations who've got comprehensive enablement plans and a culture of perpetual learning. And then from a certification standpoint, so people say, okay, we did the training, and Johnny just talked about, hey, listen, we need certifications as well, because that really validates the knowledge with a credential, industry recognized credential. And for organizations who had, for instance, in our case, AWS employed staff, 90% agree that the cloud, it made them more productive. 86% agree that just the security, improved dramatically once they had people with AWS certifications. And the interesting data point that I like is, people who had a higher adoption of AWS certifications, organizations who had a higher adoption of AWS certifications, they are, in terms of their ability to generate more revenue from innovative solutions, that goes up by a factor of 2. So in this case, these companies who had AWS certifications, they had in excess of 15% of the annual revenue from new innovative product lines, because you're able to release code better and faster. You're able to roll out new services better and generate better customer experiences. So whether you are an organization looking at digital transformation, or whether you are a learner, cloud makes sense. Now, with that being the context, really happy to announce this program, which, working with the NASSCOM team, Amit, Yuri, Hira, we've kind of operationalized that with our partner, Ethnos. And what we are essentially doing, this is the first rollout of a program like this, and obviously it will deepen into further streams like data science and analytics and ML. So what we're saying is, the first level is really a discovery day. You can attend a 3-hour content on a webinar, which it's an initial immersion into cloud and AWS. There's no prior knowledge of cloud. Learn to create a facial recognition app within 30 minutes. It's pro bono. And there's a free quiz and certification that comes from NASSCOM, as a result of completing this course. So this is your initial immersion. And then there's an opportunity for us to start the journey with what we call the basic foundational cloud practitioner certification. And that's really what gets you started in the job market. This is where you can consume 6 hours of free digital content. We help you prepare for the certification, through practice exams. This is mapped to the national occupational standards. And you can have a paid AWS certification, which for the purpose of this engagement, we're also offering special discounts. So this really gets you started. For early careers, for learners who are like 0 to 6 months, I think this is the foundational certification to go with. The third level eventually is where you are someone who's looking at really architecting applications and workloads, moving workloads on the AWS from an on-premise environment. And this is like a paid 300 hours, 3-month course, instructor-led course, which is based on the 5 pillars of well-architected framework from AWS. And you clearly learn, how to move applications onto the cloud. And this also has a paid AWS certification. We help you prepare the practice exams. Again, the certification is accounted. These are mapped to NOS. And the good part is here, we also help you with placement assistance. We understand that you have an opportunity, or our students have an opportunity to not only pick up, technical skills, but they also need to pick up some soft skills. And a partner, Ethnos, actually enables that as well. So placement assistance is something that we really are committed to, and put a lot of weight behind that. So this, in a nutshell, is the program that we're launching today. And as I said, this is the starting point, and we look forward to the partnership of the NASSCOM team and the learners out there today who've joined us on YouTube to really embrace it, because this is what really gets you started, and this is what really helps with that talent pool demand that India requires to be a $1 trillion digital economy. And for those students and learners, we are the ones who are empowering. Fortunately, we are blessed with the opportunity to empower the dreams of 1 billion Indians. So these are some of the companies that you interact with on a daily basis, companies that you came to love during at least the lockdown last year. whether it was learning on Byju's, whether it was again ordering food on Swiggy, whether it was just ordering essentials on from AWS platform or Zomato. So we were right there at the helm, working with you. And then not only for you as consumers, but we are also working with governments to enable the smart governance. So these are some of the great organizations that we partner with in India to enable next generation citizen services, to look at new areas like fintech with a company like Chipmunk, which really consolidates the chit fund operation and now looks at about 18,000 crore worth of revenue. There's Kalgudi, which looks at some interesting work in agri-tech and creates a marketplace for people to sell their produce and also gives them guidance on when to sow the seed, soil, and just the best practices on farming. And then clearly, Maha Online is a great example. Maha Online is a great example of how we're delivering and partnering with government to deliver the next generation of services, citizen services. So in a nutshell, really invite you to partner with us. This is a great opportunity for us to contribute and help in nation building, and really excited to launch this program with the NASSCOM team. Thank you. With that, Yuri, back to you.
Thank you, Amit. Would you also like to play a short video we prepared for learners to watch?
Yes. So here is the Okay, Yuri, I think I missed adding the part where the audio needs to be there. So maybe I can play this later and join back while Rahul talks.
Sure, not a problem. Thank you, Amit. You can go off share. Just for all the learners, the first series is there live on from 17th to 19th. It was taken by Government of Madhya Pradesh and they wanted to offer this to their colleges. So we have learners registered for this program already while we launch it formally today. I'm moving to Rahul, who is President Public Sector AISPL and leads that for India and South Asia. And my question to him is, what's your view on this partnership? That first, and second is, what do you think how this will pave the way to bridge the gap, which Amit highlighted is in research, some of the findings from the research, and help us to fill the gap for current and future as well.
Thank you so much. Firstly, it's a real honor to be associated for this project with NASSCOM and SSC Future of Skills. This is a 3-year journey that we've been walking alongside NASSCOM and with the Sector Skill Council and Future of Skills. So it's indeed an honor and pleasure to be here. I'm sorry, I'm having some network problems, so please ping me if you're not able to hear me clearly. The report that we actually talked about, just the alpha beta report that we just talked about, I think one of the things that you may not have picked up was the striking contrast that emerged from that report. Only 12% of Indians are actually involved from a digital point of view in our skilling ecosystem. I think that's one part of the equation, only 12%. It is one of the lowest across Asia Pacific. On the other side, of that 12%, in terms of the penetration of deep skills, 7 out of 10 were using really deep technology skills. So you can clearly see the digital divide in India. On one end, there are so few that are involved, and the ones that are involved are deeply connected or deeply working. So there's a divide that you can clearly see in India, from a digital skills point of view as well. And one of the things that I'm really hopeful from this report was the granularity level at which this is trying to address a digital worker. So in the past, we've not had a common framework skills framework that addresses not just the deep technology skills, but also basic skills on digital. So if a plumber or an electrician, what kind of digital skills do they need versus the data scientist? So this framework actually addresses digital skill competencies across that spectrum. The other thing that's really interesting in this report is the fact that you're also addressing horizontal capabilities, which typically it's difficult. And we know that and horizontal capabilities, I mean the softer skills that are needed, design skills, analytical skills. And this is one which I found very exciting that brought these two together. And the ability for us to be able to use that to predict what kind of skills are needed in the next 5 years, I think is really exciting. So working closely with the Sector Skill Council, I think this is a huge opportunity where we can actually leverage this from a technology digital skills to other sector skill councils as well. And I think that's the really exciting opportunity that we have in front of us. I think the one point that I really want to make here is cloud is pervasive. So it's, while it's called out as one of a few technologies that we're working on, but I just want to reiterate the fact that cloud actually is pervasive across. When you think about machine learning on cloud, that's a specific skill. When you think about IoT on cloud, that's a skill. When you think about networking on cloud, that's a skill. So the people watching on YouTube, I specifically want to call out that going forward, you have to think about cloud skills as not just cloud skills, but a more pervasive set of skills that are needed across a diverse spectrum of technologies. And I think that's where the real opportunity is as well. So we are really happy and keen to work with you. I'd like to invite you across to be a part of this journey. I'm also, one of the first things I did when I joined AWS was I got certified on AWS as well. I think it's, one of the things that I feel really strongly about is cloud gives you the opportunity to learn the top skills as well. So if you think about reinforced learning, today a student sitting in a third tier town in anywhere in the country will have access to the latest algorithms and frameworks for reinforced learning, which is available to our topmost companies in the world. And I think that's the real power of democratizing that availability of technology for experiential learning. I think that's what this is all about. So come and experience cloud with us, and we are really happy to work with you and with the Sector Skill Council to take this forward. Back to you, Yuri. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul, and we're equally excited. I'll request President NASSCOM, Debjani, to give us the closing remarks on this partnership, and also let other GC members to comment what they think about and what's their message to the learners who are watching us on YouTube.
Hey, thanks, Yudi, and Rahul and team, thank you so much for a strong partnership. And this is, I think, the reason we wanted to share this with the GC is because this is something we need to scale across the industry. And we need you to play the role of helping us scale this concept, scale this idea with a lot more companies to come and partner with FutureSkills Prime, and drive similar mass scale trainings, not pilots, but really large trainings from the very first stage. So once again, thanks a ton, Rahul, for having the faith in NASSCOM, in FutureSkills, to take this in a step forward. I have a feeling it's going to be very exciting for both of us and for the users, for the people who are going to go through the training. Looking forward to the GC's help to get many more partners engaged with us to drive similar trainings across the different areas, both technology as well as professional skills. Thanks.
Thank you, Debjani. Over to you, Amit, just in case there are any other GC member who would like to comment and share their views.
Yeah, let's open it up for some of the others. Ramkumar, Mohit, Hebar, Mr. Gupta, Rekha.
Amit, I think this is really good. Yeah, I mean, I was quite intrigued to learn from that report. And Rahul, I just shot you a note. 12% on digital literacy. Clearly, it's there's so much of opportunity. And the pandemic, the acceleration is even faster now. So if we can take it more to a lot more people, it's going to be really, really, really impactful. We are seeing that a little bit of what I do in my other life of setting up this technology university, and we are seeing some massive pull through on the whole AI cloud computing side.
Yeah. No, I think, Amit, digital is the new electricity. I think we are here to generate and produce and distribute also. It's a great opportunity that way for everybody. It's a pretty nice one, Rahul.
Yeah, Amit, thank you. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sir, please.
Okay, thank you, Amit. And I'm really excited to know about this. It looks like a great initiative actually by Amazon as well as NASSCOM Sector Skill Council. And as you all know, digital is the new normal actually. So everything has to become digital, including the skilling as well. And I think this should work out to be something unique and a role model for other industry also. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity and wonderful initiative from the employment perspective as well, which we are seeing the demand side picking up on the digital skills. Great opportunity for the learners and a lot of employment opportunities out there, representing the staffing federation. So I can tell you that this is a great opportunity lying out there. Thank you so much, Amazon and NASSCOM.
Always good to hear that from you, Manmeet, because we look at you to get a sense of whether we are on the right track or not.
Absolutely.
So always good to hear that from you. And when we are not on the right track, I expect you to say so, please.
We'll do that. Absolutely.
I think we